Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Book Buzz Show. I'm your host, Cheryl Brooks. For those who are, if this is your first time, and this evening, I have the author E. Bowser here, and we're going to be
Hello.
discussing, her book, "Product of the Street," Union City, and this is book one. And then also tonight, I have as co-host tonight as Jennifer Copeland with me. What moment? I'm trying to do two things at once. Sorry. Hi, JB. Welcome. Say, do not stop. Hello. She said you look pretty.
Hello. Thank you.
Okay. And Ebony, for those who are new to you, can you tell us what genre you usually write in? I was telling you backstage that um, I'm familiar more with you as a paranormal author, but
hmm
um, if you can let the readers know what genres you usually or normally write in.
My usual genres are paranormal romance, fantasy romance, and horror. Not romance, but horror, zombie horror. So this is my first time stepping into the urban fiction genre with this book.
And you actually, for this to be, I'm actually surprised because you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you did an amazing job on it. Had me on the edge of my seat a lot of times in the book. um, but do you consider yourself primarily a paranormal author, though? Is
I
that
do. I consider myself like that's my home.
Mhm.
For paranormal. Like I do like writing the story because I like the characters because they're very dysfunctional. But yeah, paranormal's my home. I can't. I'm always gonna fall back on that. So, but it's fun. It is fun writing it. Writing
That's one of my
fiction.
favorite genres too. Is paranormal and fantasy. So
hmm
that's right up my alley. Um, Also, please tell us a little bit about your writing journey. When did you start writing professionally?
I started writing professionally in 2015 is when I first published. Um, I always used to write anyway when I was younger. Short stories, poems, things, just stuff like that. And I never took it seriously. Hi, Tacola. I never took it seriously in the beginning. Like I like that horror type stuff and just paranormal vampires, werewolves,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of crazy stuff. That's all I wanted to write about. And then one day a friend was just like, I want to see black vampires and I
Mm-hmm.
want to see, I want to see somebody that looks like me. And I was like, well, I'll write a story. I was like, I'll write a story so that way you can read it and you can see yourself in the story.
Okay.
And that's how I wrote Deadly Secrets. That's how it started.
I love that. I love that. Um, Facebook user, if just FYI, if you go to the top of the comments in the description, you'll see a link giving Facebook permission, StreamYard permission to show your face or your name. Otherwise, it's just going to say Facebook user. That's just so you'll know.
Thank you, Facebook user.
She says the most. I assume it's a female. I'm not sure. The most realistic vampire story I've ever read. And you're right, because I read a lot of, like I said, paranormal and fantasy always since as far back as I can remember. And,
hmm
you're right. You don't see a lot of people of color in that
You
genre.
don't see a lot of POC. And I mean, we're starting to see more now, a lot more now. But back then,
Yeah,
I didn't see any when I was
non-existent.
growing up.
It's
I
not for
didn't see
me,
not one.
Tavia Butler, maybe.
That and L.A. Banks.
Oh yeah.
That was it. That was it. Like you didn't see it.
Hey JB, she says not her genre, but she does love learning and listening to all AA authors. Yeah,
Thank
JB, she did
you.
an amazing job on this particular one, and I don't know if you read urban, but if you do, you'll like it, you'll enjoy it. Um, Also, when you first started, did you go the traditional publishing route first?
I did not. I was always in the realm of I thought about it, but I didn't like the control
Mm,
aspect that they have of your work. And I'm like, if I want to put my books out there, I want to put my books out there. I don't want to wait a
mm-hmm.
year, 2 years to see if you're going to like it enough to publish it. So I'm like, I'm just going to self publish my books. And that's what I did. Started self publishing my books.
Now, how did you research as far as learning how to do that? What it all entailed?
Google.
Okay.
Um, a lot of Google and just reading bulletin boards, joining certain groups, asking questions. Like that's the big thing. Like you don't want to just jump in head first.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely want to get on YouTube, look up some educational videos on how to start your self-publishing journey. Um, Make sure you're going step by step, doing things right, getting your copyright, getting your ISBNs, just things like that, little things that you wouldn't think of when you're first starting out. And how you want to start writing your stories, structure, what genre you want to start in. Um, Make sure you're not just starting your writing journey by following other people, because how are you going to continue later on in life?
Right, right.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
like.
it was a lot of sitting down and going through everything, looking up everything and reading.
Right. We have some more people. Hi, Irene. Hello,
Hello.
Tasha.
Hey,
Hello.
Tasha.
Is it? And what is your? Somebody's asking, what is your favorite book?
Um, I I got a lot. Um,
Yeah,
my
that's a
favorite
difficult
book,
one.
my favorite book is probably Stephen King's It. That is my one of my favorite books. Um, most of Octavia Butler,
Hmm.
most of her books, yes. But I have a lot because I read a lot. So
And that's what I was going
like
to ask you too. Are you still able to read? Enjoy reading now that you write?
it's more of a challenge now, but I make myself sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna read this book. Um, if I'm in the middle of writing, I'll try to find a book that's like a novella or something that's only like 100 and something pages. That's not gonna
Right.
take me that long, but I need to read something um, to keep my mind engaged, because then I'll just be sitting here like, man, I need a book to read, or like a book to listen to, and I'll
Right.
just start wandering off, and then I'm not writing. So yeah, so I
Now,
mean it's a challenge, but I find time.
do you read the same type of stuff that you write as far as the same genre, or do you read something totally different?
Um, no, I'll read the same genre. But I do read a lot of sci-fi fantasy.
Mm.
So like space operas and stuff like that, because it just helps expand your knowledge of what else is out there. Um, it just takes you in different directions in the story that you
Okay.
don't normally go to when you're writing your genre.
Hello, Irene. Oh, I said, oh, you're welcome. I love doing that, actually, introducing readers to new authors. I love that. You're welcome, JB. You should try it. I think you'll like it. It's definitely a wild ride, that's for sure, right,
It's
Jennifer?
it's definitely a wild
Oh
ride. It
yes.
just, all you can do is try.
For those just joining us, because one of you just asked about the book. This is, let me see if you can see it. Product of the Street, Union City, book 1 by E. Bowser. It's an urban fiction book. Or is it urban fiction, urban romance? I guess both, huh?
Urban erotica.
Urban erotica. It definitely, yeah, it qualifies for that too.
Oh yes, Lord.
I definitely agree. It definitely qualifies. Let's see. Let me get a question. Get that one.
Because when Cheryl asked me to co-host, and she was like, I was like, sure. I said, let me check it out. So I was hooked from the
Right.
very first. I was hooked from the very first page. I said, "What is going on?" I didn't look. I didn't get anything done until I finished. I finished it yesterday, and I had to hit Cheryl up. I said, "Cheryl, we got to talk about this book." I said, "I can't wait till tomorrow."
Right. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, first page.
Yeah, it
If
starts
the
out with a
first
bang.
page
You're
don't grab you.
right. uh, now, what challenges did you encounter, if any, when trying to write in this genre?
Um, I was very like, I can't do this. I can't write this because I wanted to put every other sentence. I'm like, let me just put a vampire in here. Let me just put a werewolf in here. Or, I'm like trying to not kick back over into my paranormal mindset. And I'm like, I think that's what took me so long to write in a different genre because I was just like, I can't write in nothing else. What am I gonna say? I don't know. Like I was like, I don't know what to write. So like that was the challenge of getting out of my own head and just be like, you know how to put a story together. Put the story together. So
You definitely did that. That's all I can say.
I had to have many conversations with friends. Like, listen, I gotta put this story together. I need somebody to read it and tell me if it's good enough. So
And did you do anything special to keep yourself like in that mindset?
music.
Mm-hmm.
Music. I like went and found every dirty R&B music, rap song music I could find to like stay in the mindset of Union City and what it was about because it was like you had the club aspect of it and what that club is and then the sex scenes. So to just like stay in that mindset of okay, they're hood but they're not at the same time because they do live professional lives. So
Right.
it's like I had to flip flop with music choices. So
Mhm.
it's like I'm listening to this rap and then I'm switching over to like some light R&B or something
Right.
like that.
And I
So
actually
yeah.
like that too, that you had basically it was a balance. It was basically two sides to them.
Mhm.
The street life part and the business part. Um, so let's get into the story and the characters. All right. Again, for those just joining, we're talking with E. Bowser about her book Product of the Street, Union City. This is book 1. Book 2 is scheduled to come out next month. So you have time if you wanted to read this before the next book comes out. And here is a picture of the cover. Hopefully, you're able to see that.
Yep. I can see it.
Okay. And so now with the the book, can you give an overview basically of what it's about?
Okay, so Product of the Street is about four friends, four male friends, and two sisters. And it is more characters to the story, but the basis of the story centers around these two sisters that meets these guys that are on a totally different level in life, I should say, without giving everything away. Um, and they weren't ready for that. They weren't ready to run into men that knew what they were about and knew what they wanted out of life. So they basically ran, even though they were going to college. They were like, okay, we're going out of, we're leaving. We don't want to continue to live in this city and become a product of this city, because it was just like pulling them down. You know, you're not going to get ahead. There are no jobs, things like that. So they didn't want to live that life. And in their mind, nothing was going to let these two sisters stay. And the only reason they came back is because their mother was in the hospital. And they run into the same men again. And this time they like, I ain't letting you go, basically. So that's
Yeah,
kind of the
they
gist.
basically say, okay, we let uh
We let you grow up,
grow up a
you
little
know,
bit.
get your life together.
Right, right. um, I thought it was interesting too. With okay, let's go on to the characters. Okay, like you said, Tally is the heroine, basically. Well, actually, Dia too. Basically, it was both of them. I think.
Yeah, Tally and Dia.
Yeah. So Tally and then Dia is her sister, and and they came back, like you said, because their mother is ill, and they had an encounter when before they left with um, Tally with Henny, and then Dia with Oz. Um,
Right.
so when they come back, what I thought was interesting is that Oz and Dia actually had still been in contact. Um, Basically, he was in the friend zone, but
Right.
he had been watching out for her all this time. Um, Basically in the shadows, taking care of things, keeping her out of danger. I thought that was
Mhm.
interesting. What about you, Jennifer?
Oh yeah, I thought that was so good too. But if you decide to do a book about your primary with the primary characters, make sure you get Crescent up in there, because girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, trust me. You
yeah.
just wait. Just wait. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Is just wait. You're gonna get your crescent fix.
Good,
Believe me.
good.
Good, because Crescent, oh my gosh, I just loved her being friends with Tally and Drea. Oh my gosh,
Mhm, mhm,
they
mhm.
had me laughing.
Yeah, Crescent she was hilarious, but
She was
with with the dynamics between Dia and Oz, um, I think because the first night they didn't they basically talked. I think if I remember
hmm
correctly, the first night. I think with Tally and and Henny, it was more of physical attraction,
yeah.
sexual attraction.
It was like an instant sexual type of attraction to each other.
Yes, and so I can see how they both broke off into like Dia and Oz becoming more
hmm
buddies and friends, even though Oz already knew in his mind that she was his. Um,
Right. In his head, it was a done deal. Like in his head, like, okay, yeah, this is it right here.
right. And I think I was more actually drawn to him because I loved how he took care of her, made sure she was straight, even though he had stuff that he had to do um,
hmm
before he could bring her, like totally let her know how he felt and bring her back into his world.
Right. Right.
Um, but he made sure he stayed where he knew if anything was, amiss with her, and he took care of it basically.
Right. He did. It was like he knew his responsibilities and what he had to accomplish in Union City. And to him is okay, I'm gonna let you go for now while I get myself together, while I build
Mhm.
myself up. So when I'm ready, I'm gonna come and get you, basically. So like if she didn't come back,
Mhm.
he was going to get her.
He already had it in his plan. He said,
Mhm.
and he already had it. She came back, but he was to let it be known that the guy
Mhm.
that she was with was on borrowed time.
Yeah, she was on borrowed time. And he was letting her do her. He was just like, go ahead, live your life. We friends. You can talk to me about anything. So he basically getting the inside tea on everything she
Right.
liked, what she do, playing the buddy part and just like, oh,
Mhm. But
and,
and I think she knew though too, because in the back of her mind, and I think she may have addressed it in the book, that to be honest, she always knew that if he needed her, she was going to drop everybody to help him.
mhm.
So I think even in the back of her mind, even though she had put him in the friend zone, there was some kind
Yeah,
of
like
action.
she did. Even when she was in relationships, it was always, no, this is gonna be my friend, period. I don't care what you got to say about it.
Right.
Even the guy, sincere, even their like turbulent relationship, she was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
this is my friend. You can either accept it or it is what it is.
Right. And what I like is that she was strong. She wasn't afraid to get going like she did. If she saw that it wasn't working, even though she chose very damn not good men.
Yeah,
Um,
she
but
did. He eyes addressed that too. Like you ain't know what you was doing. So
right, right, and it's scary thinking about all the stuff that she dodged basically, and that didn't even know that Oz was the one that was keeping her safe all this time.
mhm. Yep.
That was amazing to me. Hi Ola, how are you?
Hello.
And JB is saying a man to fall in love with. Yes, yes, go get your woman. And that's exactly how
That's
he is.
exactly how
Like,
he got that. I
he,
mean, he didn't sugarcoat nothing.
oh
Like
no.
he was always direct with it. It didn't matter. Like he like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right, right. And I think that's what I liked about him too. And I told Jennifer when we were discussing the book, I said I think I'm more drawn to Oz because he was a straight shooter.
Yeah, straight
And I
shooter with everything.
right, and I love that in my in males period, but in my book, male book characters. But
Mhm.
now with Tally and Henny, um, to me, Henny kept things a little too close to the vest, and um, I don't know. It's like it was like he told her that he wanted her, but then he like would disappear
Mhm.
with no real explanation. So that kind of stuff kind of kept me off kilter and kept her off kilter too. Um,
Yeah, I think in the beginning, because Tally was young,
right.
so she was 18. She got ready to go to college, so it was kind of like I do have this attraction to her, and but she needs to grow up. Like I have a lot going on right now. So
Mm-hmm.
when she came back, he had actually had no warning. See, I've been,
True.
in the know this
Right.
whole time, behind the scenes, setting stuff up. So he already knew. So
Right.
to Henny, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to rearrange my whole situation
Mm-hmm. That's
and
a good
and
point. I
and
forgot
get it
about that. You're
together.
right. He was blindsided because he even, asked Oz, why didn't you tell me
Mm,
she was back?
right. And he basically like surprise, like ain't no surprise. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Do I
so
need to
yeah,
take
so
you
but
to the
he did.
clinic? He said.
He did. He does keep things close to the vest. I guess
Mhm.
it's more so because he has so much going on, especially with the hospital and then his other life. Like, how do you keep that separate? And then knowing Tally really don't want nothing to do
With the city.
with the city or with anything like that. So
Mhm.
it's like, all
That's
right,
true.
so
Right. And so I
so
can
what do
see
we
too,
do?
yeah, why he would be hesitant. But he didn't come across as that he was worried about how she would be when she found out what he was into. Oz did fear basically how being
How
rejected
dare?
by yeah. But I
Yeah,
just
he.
from Henny is like, and maybe that's just because he's good at hiding his
I
true
think
feelings.
he's good at being two different people. It's easier for Oz because I mean he owns a club. He owns a BDSM club, basically. Like he's not as what's the word? I guess polished or have to
Mhm.
be in the public eye
Right.
as much. So he has to be two different type of people all the time. Like I tried to kind of show that when he was coming into the hospital and you see he's coming in with the hoodie, the grills,
Mhm.
but then he has to change. He has to take those out, put his glasses on,
To
change into a
become
suit. Like he comes out a whole different person.
right.
So it's like that, and he still has the weight on his mind of his brother's death that he still has to avenge.
Right.
And then boom, his eyes don't tell you nothing, and the girl that you still been thinking about, but you let it go. You still been thinking about her. Is just right there in your hospital, and
Right.
you like, what?
And then you see him kind of do kind of like Oz, and as far as like manipulating to make sure she doesn't go anywhere
He's
quickly.
toxic,
Right.
toxic, toxic is who he is.
Yes. And
And it's worse in book 2. So I'll just say
oh,
that.
okay.
Okay. Well, I can't wait for book 2 because
Because okay,
I
now go
will
ahead,
know
Jennifer.
him as Doctor. I will know Henny as Dr. Sexy, like Crescent said.
Crescent is a mess.
She is a
Like,
mess, and I love her. I love her character. She had me rolling. I'm telling you, and her and Fax, they were hilarious. They are.
oh,
Wait,
listen.
but wait, we'll get into them. We'll get into them. But but they had me rolling. But um now with Tally and Henny, we have to get into this exhibitionism because
Yeah, definitely. It's trigger warnings in this book. So please read the trigger warnings before you start reading the book.
yeah, because I'm
Because
telling you,
I don't want nobody being caught off guard
right?
going into this book.
Hi Antoinette,
Good
welcome.
evening.
But yes, and I have to admit, at first, and believe me, I'm not a prude or anything because I've been reading like Minaj books and things for like years, especially in my 30s and 20s. But when I just wanted to make sure that it was her really wanting it and not being
Forced into it, like,
forced into it. Because I know that seemed like it's something that he wants and likes.
mhm.
So I think that was my only like being uncomfortable is that I wanted to make sure it was actually something that she was really into. Um, the um, thing at the club, when the thing at the club. Well, first they started out like you said, they started out that way, and with Ja and just the whole scene, and with her being so young, I think my motherly instincts, I guess,
Kicked in, right.
thinking like, okay, what's happening? Is this something that she wants, or is she just being getting caught up in this? What did you think, Jennifer, in the first scene with them.
I thought that too, and then it had me thinking because I was like, well, I was 18 once, and so I've always dated guys older than me since I turned really 17, 18. So I was like, yeah, she was old enough to consent or whatever, but then I'm a parent too, but I have grown men, so I'm that type of parent, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. And then when you put that saying in about that, I'm gonna make you scream, y'all. All I'm gonna say is y'all that grill. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I don't want to give it away, but all I'm gonna say is that grill, and then y'all come and message me.
Yes, but what I found interesting too with that scene is you found out that Henny and Ja were used to sharing, and it was no big deal.
Right. So to them, it was no big deal. Um, but also in that scene, Henny was like, "Do you want to do this?" Before Jai even came over there, he was just like, "You don't have to do this
Right,
if you don't want to. Like, I'm not gonna make you do this."
right.
But like, that's why I try to portray it as she went there because Dia set the scene for her before they even got
True,
there. Like,
true,
and she's
true.
like, listen, they get down. So
Right, she did.
if
You're right.
if you don't
And
want to
of course,
do it,
yeah,
you ain't gotta
they
do
got
it. But
down.
in Tally's mind, it was, I'm leaving tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
so
So I ain't never gonna see them again
I
anyway.
ain't gonna never see them.
But man, that was a hot scene, and it was also funny. Jai's reaction when Henny was like, "Nah, man, you only go so far." So that told us too that he already had felt some kind of connection.
Yeah, because even John looked at him like, what?
Right.
And Fax was like, nah, I ain't even sticking around because he seemed kind of
Right,
he seemed kind of obsessive right now. I'm gonna let you have that.
yes,
Like,
yes. Yes. But that scene that you did that scene well, but like we were talking when I brought up the scene at the club when they put on the show in front of the window, in front of the glass in the VIP section. And not just
yeah,
them, not just the people in the club, but the people behind them, the people they came with. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And but
so who
okay,
was in there? It was
Crescent was there. Yeah,
Sanchez, Crescent,
yep.
Link, and Fax.
Yes,
Yes.
and
And
man,
Fax with his crazy self, him and
that is
Crescent. Oh my
yes.
God. If
I'm
I
like,
would
oh
have
my
been
goodness.
I would have
When
been
I say
scared
these
if
men
Fax
are
had have
cray
done that.
cray, I'm saying they are cray. Fax is definitely up there. He is cray cray, but he balanced him and Crescent bounce off each other well. They balance each other well because she just as she can
She
be just
just
as
as
cray.
wild as he is. Cause he wild. She's just like, you know what?
Yes, she definitely was not gonna be intimidated because and then when she saw what was going on with Tally and Henny, and she's like, okay, what is going on up in here? Which y'all got me
Right.
in here. I'm like,
Right. Basically, like, what y'all got me in here looking at? That she like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, she say, what is my friend doing? What is going on?
like, this the most hottest I ever seen in my life.
Like I know I wanted to come here, but good.
You're
I was
right.
thinking Crescent was
Right.
like, I know
Like,
I wanted to come
dang.
here, but I ain't know this was gonna happen.
And I was
Like,
trying to picture, I was trying to put myself in that, like if I was her and we out having a good time for my birthday, and then I look over and
and that's what you see. And mind you, she's sitting with 3 other dudes.
right, And one of them is basically having foreplay with a gun, I guess. But
Yeah, like and she just like she don't even know what to think. You know,
And he done moved her on into his lap just so. And so
right?
you know what? And I'm
He's
like,
feeding her cake and some more stuff, and she's like,
oh
"What
my
is going
goodness.
on?"
Yes,
But it's like she felt, but she wasn't scared. Like she felt comfortable. One, because Dr. Sexy was there, so it was just
right,
like I know him. And then Sanchez is there because you see how she's sticking up for Sanchez. Like if I want to talk to Sanchez, I talk to
right.
Sanchez. Like
yes.
She was not intimidated at all with this aggressive guy. um, it's an addiction that is reserved for one man, right? Yeah. Well, for one
mhm.
man, and I don't know. I let myself go and just go with it and just got into it and
Yeah, it was a ride.
it was a ride
It,
and Crescent and Facts for people. Please go out and get this book. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. And she wrote the mess out of these characters. Crescent and Facts alone are going to have you rolling on on the floor.
Yeah, like they were
they
the comedic relief. Like
Right. But
the
he was
guys,
more of a straight. He was more of a straight. Because wasn't trying to be funny. He was just being
he really wasn't. Like he was not trying to be
himself.
funny at all. It was just like you can't. The stuff that he was saying, you can't believe that that's what he's saying, and he's serious about it.
And he's very serious, right?
and even
He
though
getting it
even
with the gun clutching.
Yes,
Listen,
Antoinette, I'm
he
telling you, that scene, you have to read this book.
yeah,
even
and like even her, she was like, I don't even know how I feel about this right now. Like,
But
but I
then
like it.
she started stroking stroking the glove. But wait a minute, what about Henny bringing it back up to her, like when she was trying to like clown on him about
Right, Henny petty. He's petty. He is so petty.
he said not you over there.
JB, I'm telling you, you should read this book. It's gonna have you all over the place because your
Yeah,
emotions all over the
definitely.
place. But she balances it well because it is street life, but she balances it well with the humor. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it does have like even after the whole club incident, because a lot of stuff happened at the club.
Right,
Um,
a lot.
even before that whole VIP scene.
Right.
Yeah, Henny is King Petty Blossom. He's definitely king of petty. And like so it's like, you have the typical run in with other female characters that
Oh, it's
you
two
right
of them that I want them to get there so
Yes.
bad.
Yes.
Oh, and you already know who it is. Them doggone cousins are talented. Yes.
yeah. Them and then you got exes that's coming back trying to be on some jump. And it's just basically life, and then you have street life, and then you still have to go to work in the morning.
Right.
Like you still got to get up and go to work.
Yes, Antoinette,
And
yes, you have to check it out. And like I said before, I love the way
Yes.
you balance it where they're in the street life basically, but they also have very, very good careers and they're
right.
businessmen
And
And
when we
they're
say
educated.
and they're
when
educated.
we say street life, like don't go in thinking that you're gonna be seeing people on the corner selling
Oh no,
drugs.
right.
Like
Uh-uh.
that's not what it is. And I try to explain that to people because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to read that anymore about selling drugs and putting people. I'm like, nah, it's not what you think it is.
True.
Like they're literally, yes, they're doing the street life or whatever, but they literally are trying to rebuild their community at the same time.
Right. And that's what I love, that even with everything that they're doing is they have a mission
Right.
that they're about, and it's about the bigger picture. And
Right. Exactly.
and I love that, and that's what separates it too from just being a regular basically about street life. But again, okay, we're gonna get off of Crescent and Facts. I hope in the second book we get more of them, because they, man, I want to delve more into them as a couple, as you know, because
they're dynamic.
Yeah.
They get in there.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh my goodness, just the glimpse that we saw. I'm like, now let's get into Link. And his character, he came across to me as more of the one that was more level-headed at first.
But he got a level of crazy
like
too.
He seemed like he was real level-headed, right? He was a cool, calm, collected one, right? Like
I'm like, he fooled me for a minute, because I'm like, so I see why they all are good friends in the crew, because they all are out there as far as their mindset and stuff. And
right, and their conversations are hilarious when they're not even supposed to be hilarious, because it's like they're talking, like they know that they're crazy. They're not trying to hide it.
And I think Oz even because I think Dan had said something to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, you're right."
Yeah. Like you're psychotic, and he's like, "Yeah, I am." Like, I mean, because in one part they're like, "Well, the only one of us that's actually diagnosed, with antisocial disorder is Facts."
Oh my goodness.
And did he say he might he'll ask him so he could go to therapy and find out or something?
Yeah, so Dan was like, "I think we need to go to therapy," and he was just like, "All right, we can go." Like, I don't care, we can go if you want to. But it's like, because Facts has to go to therapy, so you'll see like a little bit more about that. Okay. That's why he's diagnosed.
Okay.
So that's why they're just like, well, he's got all the symptoms, the same symptoms that we got. So apparently, and they asking Henny, and Henny's like, it's not my expertise, but
right. We have a question. Which one of the ladies y'all think is going to sex it up out of where the cousin is being held? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not understanding.
I don't know.
But them cousins need to get it as well as their mama.
Yeah, but you know what? Even with everything, because I think they are deplorable, but even that though, when the scene with Catrice and Xavier and Ja disturbed me, because
yeah,
I can't. I do not like women and children being, abused or treated any kind of way.
That's what I'm. That's why I'm like, please read the trigger warnings. And like, we all know that it happens, unfortunately, in life. And it's like, she's in this situation. But she's stayed in this situation, even though they're deplorable or whatever. And it's just like, what are you doing? Stop helping them. Like, stop opening your doors to them. Stop. Like, I'm not going to tell the story. But you went above and beyond at the end.
Right. That made me rethink. Okay, maybe she did deserve now, but no, but I don't know. I just I
Yeah, it was
it
like
showed how damaged that her and her sister really are. How damaged their mother made
right
them.
made
Um,
them.
mhm,
Yeah, like why would you do
right,
this or let yourself be put into the situation repeatedly,
right.
because it wasn't the first time, which you can tell it wasn't the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows how, yeah, Oz and X are twins, but it also shows how different they are,
Yes,
because
Yes,
X
and
was
he knew to get
very
it.
manipulative
yes.
with the cousin. He was very manipulative, like,
Very
well, you don't have to do anything.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, you know.
He was manipulative, and he was abusive.
And he was abusive.
So
Yeah.
I felt a little like she was when she was in that mindset of he tore her down, that she didn't think she deserved, that she thought she deserved it, basically,
Hmm.
in a way. And then when Ja just joined in and
And like you can hear his mindset, and
right,
he don't care.
right.
Like,
And you
and
see,
it's
and,
just
and I think
like,
he said in his when he was his internal thoughts, when he was saying she looked at me begging for help, like I'm a help.
yeah, like he does not care. And
Right.
it's like, just show the difference between the characters. Cause
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, we're laughing and we talking about how crazy Henny Link, like they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But Ja and X are crazy too. And that's where you get the two different types of psychotic, and then you have the other side to where
Right.
they have no empathy.
Right.
They don't care about anything but themselves, which Ja shows that, because X is supposed to be his friend, and even though he's like, that's my man, but I come first, basically. He didn't have that sense of community like the other four did.
Right. Because he was a part of their group, and he basically just he betrayed them.
Right. And like they were already saying it like in the beginning, like, man, listen, I don't know what's going on with him, but I don't like it. Like,
Right.
I don't know what's up with him. So it's just like he was never right for their group. So you wonder if that didn't happen, what would have happened in the future? Because the stuff that he was into, they wasn't into at all. And it's like, yeah, you have the sexual stuff, but they not into that force. If you don't want to do something, you're not gonna do it. And we care about people. Like,
Right.
it was about the money thing. It was about the money tip. It was about being on top and all that kind of stuff. But to a certain extent, Henny, Oz, all of them cared about other people enough to
Right.
put jobs back into the community, to make sure people had health care and can afford, their prescriptions and stuff like that, or finding jobs for undocumented people, putting them through school, stuff like that. Ja and X wasn't on that.
Right.
That's not what they wanted. So it's like they were kind of the same, but not at all. They were on a totally different mental level, and I think that's why Ja and X has so much hate towards them, because to them it's like, oh, so y'all better than us.
Right. But I never thought they were on the same level. X and Ja have a darkness to them that the other ones
Hmm.
don't.
They do.
Right. And they don't mind, hurting innocent
They
people.
don't mind hurting others to to get that. So they were more like a sociopath
Right.
And what
than
about Rodney Rowe?
Oh yeah. And we still
him.
don't know really what's gonna happen with that. Yeah.
Yeah, his whole vendetta, like he just got a vendetta against all of them because he felt humiliated, because he wanted to be a part of the crew back in the day. But he also had a problem too.
Mm-hmm. And he was stalking Dia.
Right, like he also had a problem too with keeping his hands to himself. So like he caught them hands and then he disappeared off the face of the earth,
Right.
and now he's back. But they didn't know really what happened to him after he left, after they, mollywopped him
Right.
across the campus.
Yeah, and somebody is saying that I think they're talking about Ja can be redeemed. Do you think he can be redeemed?
No.
No.
And I agree.
That is
Yeah, that's a done
he
deal. I
too
think. And
he too far gone.
I agree. And I think X is a real evil person, and I show his crazy when he's threatened, right? When he's
He
threatened or somebody
does.
that he loves is threatened, right? So,
Listen, when I wrote the beginning, when Oz first came on scene,
mhm,
um, from his point of view,
right.
I made myself laugh when he was talking to the governor. Do you remember that part with the governor?
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
listen,
yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go back behind the scene for a minute.
Oh yes. Oz
and
was like,
he was just cool, calm, and collected, and he's just talking to this governor like, listen, you put yourself in the situation. You knew, the consequences, and this, and that. And like you said, like in the comments say, he shows us crazy when he's threatened. And then you got this governor trying to basically break bad on him, and he had to get up and pull him across the desk like, look, you know who you talking to. Like, don't play
look,
with me.
exactly.
Don't play with me. So they was all crazy. They was crazy. I mean, you got the clinic, then what happened at the club with Dia and Sincere and Oz.
That was that
Yes.
scene. That scene was something else, I tell you. And
Yes, that was something else. I was like, oh my gosh.
and Sincere, he was another one that was dangerous. Then she didn't even realize how dangerous he was, and Oz was, gonna step in. But what we're almost at the time. Actually, we're a little over the time, but I wanted to bring up Oz's right hand female. I can't think of her name.
Chantel.
Chantel. Yes, I loved her too.
Yeah,
She
we're gonna
She's a
get
bad
more
mamma
about
too.
her.
okay, good, because she took care of business and she looks out for him. I love that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get more about her. Cause she's like a sister to all of them, basically.
So I have to. We're gonna find out what's going on with what Dia saw and where she thought that Chantel and Oz
Oh, not
Yeah, that's
Chantel. Nia and Oz.
was it. I thought it was
It was Nia on the video.
oh, I thought it was Chantel. Okay.
me too. Okay, so it was Nia.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Nia. And so that's why she was so upset because he was talking to her and he's like, yeah, this is such and such.
Okay, because I'm like, I'm trying to, because I thought too that they were more like brothers and sisters. I'm like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, it was Nia, the pregnant chick in the beginning that he sent away.
Okay, all right.
So yeah.
Well, we got to, you know what? When book 2 comes out, we got to have you back because there's so much more to discuss, and
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's definitely a lot.
Because I could talk about this for some hours, but but I do thank you for coming on the show, and I applaud you on the book and the new
Thank you
genre.
so much.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Jennifer, did you have any final comment or question?
I just want to say I enjoyed the book, but if you need a test reader to test it out for you before July the 6th, I'm always available. But I really enjoyed it, and I will check out your paranormal because I used to read it. So, and I had kind of got out of it. So, I'm gonna try one of your paranormals.
I'll shoot you over a list because you gotta go in order.
Okay.
Like when you're reading those books, you have to go in order to get the best reading experience.
Okay.
So I have to shoot you over a list of the books to how to read it. Cause that's a wild ride too. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be up for days.
Well, you don't mind me coming in your inbox and
No, I don't mind coming to inbox. I got a whole group for Deadly Secrets. It's called Central Secrets. There's a whole group for that.
That's the name of the group.
I get it all the time at any time of the day.
You said that's the name of the group, Sinful Secrets?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'll put it in the description too. So if anybody wants to find that information, it'll be there, and then you can check out the group.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Tacola is saying, don't forget to leave a review. Most definitely. I love mine already. But yes, I'm gonna have to have you back when book 2 comes
Definitely.
out. And,
just let me know because I'll be here.
All right.
And I definitely want to co-host, Cheryl. So.
Yeah, I'll make sure. Yeah, I'll make sure of that, Jennifer.
Yeah, because you know what? I can't. Yeah, I got to be here for book 2 because when y'all get to this crescent scene.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love me some Crescent, and I love
Thank
her.
You, Blossom.
She's a true friend, and
she definitely is a true friend, especially to their mama. Like she was fighting for their mama, like that was her mama. Like, nah, y'all ain't gonna do this to Miss Naomi.
The thing that the cousins were supposed to be doing, she was doing.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And she ain't even like the cousin. You see how she was doing that?
Yes, but
she ain't like that
did you say we are going to get? Huh?
I said Crescent ain't like that head nurse either.
Oh, right.
She sure did.
Right. Yeah, we're going to have to.
She ain't care, y'all.
And Red DeLioness said, "Don't forget the zombie series too."
I know.
What's the name of that series?
Dreamwalker: Visions of the Dead.
Okay.
That's definitely a different one too. Like, don't think about
shoot me the reading order and everything.
Don't think like it's like Walking Dead zombies because it's not. It's definitely not.
All right.
Nope.
And what was going to ask? I'll put also your contact information as far as your social media handles and everything as well.
Yep, and I always answer. So if you got a question and you contact me, I'm definitely gonna get back to you.
Okay, sounds good.
No problem.
Good. And I can't wait to read book 2.
Me either.
I definitely can't wait. But like I said, I test read. So if you need somebody,
right? She does, and I do too.
Look, just consider me.
Now, did you say that we are gonna get more of Crescent and Facts and okay?
We're definitely gonna be getting more, but believe me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but
yeah, that's enough. Just knowing that I'm gonna get more of them. So, again, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you, Jennifer, for helping me out tonight.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, everybody.
Anytime I got you.
Yeah, and
thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yes, most definitely. And we'll do this again when book 2 comes out. I'll keep you posted, everyone. And everyone have a great evening.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.